Okay, so I thought I would do a video talking about the new tremolo system that I've got installed on my Washburn N4 here. It's by a company called Tremoline, and this is their new FT36T Tremolo system. So I was having tune instability issues with my with the Floyd Rose that was on this. The nut was quite worn. Yeah, it needed replacing, and I was made aware about this system by one of my friends. Yeah, I did some research with some videos, contacted Theodore at Tremoline, and yeah, he very kindly sent me one of these new systems out to install on this guitar, and I'm very happy he did because I'm really impressed with it. So yeah, I've seen some videos, and there's obviously plenty of information about these online, but I feel there's certain things that have been missed that, you know, I thought I would explain to people that might be looking to, you know, upgrade and install one of these on their own guitars, because yeah, my experience of it so far has been great, and there's little things that I think I should talk about on here and make people aware of. So yeah, so these are just about at the moment on their Reverb store just over £200, I think. They're Bulgarian made over there, and they are solid stainless steel. So that's one of the big points of this tremolo system. Everything from the trem to the arm to the nut to the bar up here to the springs to everything is solid stainless steel. So that is a big thing on this one. As soon as you get it out of the box, you can just see straight away, you know, the weight of it feels great, and the quality of it is superb. You just see that straight away when you look at it. It is just absolutely superb bit of kit. It has been cut from stainless steel very nicely. So yeah, so basically you get the box. This is all the bits here. Really nicely packaged, very smart. Obviously, first impressions do count, and you know, I got a very good first impression from that. It comes with a very detailed instruction manual on how to install it and all relevant information. Theodore at Tremoline is very helpful anyway. We were talking via email when, you know, I was installing this one. Really helpful. So if there's anything you need to know, you know, he's more than happy to help out anyway. So he's been absolutely brilliant. Main thing with this guitar is that this particular tremolo should retrofit on pretty much any Floyd Rose guitar. You can install it on Strats as well, but you do need to do a little bit of woodworking. But you know, standard Jacksons or Ibanez, or you know, it should fit straight away. This one, however, it does work, and it works very well, but to get it to its full potential, the N4 would need a little bit of woodwork doing to it, because at the bottom of the tremolo there's a little bit of wood sticking out in there, which means that I can only go up by about a semitone before the bottom of the trem hits on the bottom of on the wood in the cavity. So yeah, it installed brilliantly on here, but to get it to its full potential, I need to sort that out to get it working absolutely perfectly. But so far, I've been blown away by the quality of this and how well it actually works. It keeps in tune amazingly well. I have seen videos online of people demonstrating this and talking about it. And they say that, you know, I've seen videos of people saying literally you cannot put it out of tune, literally you cannot break a string. Quite frankly, that's rubbish, because of course you can put it out of tune, and of course you can break a string on it. But the difference is it's very minimal. You know, I've used Floyd Rose guitars basically all my guitar playing life. I've got an Ibanez with an Edge Pro on here, which is a great system, but this keeps in tune far better than anything I've ever used before. I've got a couple of big shows coming up next week, so I've been doing some rehearsals ready for those. I was rehearsing an hour set yesterday, and literally I gave it some little tweaks at the start just to make sure it was fully in tune, went through the hour set, and by the end of it, it was still nearly perfect. A couple of tiny little tweaks, but I mean, usually on stage I'm, you know, tuning up whenever there's a gap, you know, every 2 or 3 songs just to check it and just little adjustments. I genuinely believe this trem could do a whole hour set without needing any touching at all. It is superb. As far as string breakages go, I was gutted because yesterday I actually broke my high E string. But that being said, I've already done 2 gigs with this set of strings on here. I've been experimenting with different configurations of the springs and the tremolo and everything like that. So they've been wound, unwound, you know, locked, unlocked, locked, blah and it broke right on the bridge there, and I've been absolutely thrashing this, demonstrating it to people, you know, trying it out, making sure, you know, I'm really happy with it and it works. So I think it's more than understandable that I broke a string on it. So yeah, the fact that they lasted that long, I'm pretty impressed. I'm pretty certain I would have broken it on the Floyd Rose way before then. So yeah, tuning stability and string breakage is great, really, really good. So as far as what makes this actually quite unique, obviously aside from it being the solid stainless steel, is that the profile on the trem is actually completely flat. So when you lay your hand on there, it's completely flat. It's really comfortable without anything digging in. Especially some of the licensed systems, licensed Floyd Roses, they've got this horrible bit that comes up at the back which digs into your hand. It's just really cumbersome and just uncomfortable. It's just not very nice. So yeah, the design on this, very cleverly thought out, very well cut, and you know, and installed on there, is great. And if I just show you, you can hopefully see that that's completely flat going across the top there. Yeah, so yeah, it's a great piece of kit. As far as the back goes, you get 4 springs with the system. I've used 3 on here. I use 9 to 42 strings. Theodore at Tremoline actually recommended that I only use 2 springs, but I actually prefer the feel of the 3 for the weight of it. I've always used 3, so it's what I'm used to. They're non-magnetic springs, so you get less noise with them. Literally everything in here is stainless. So you know, this bar back here, the screws. What I was really impressed about here as well is that just a really clever idea, which again, you know, more people should use. I don't know if you can see that, but on the bar back here, there's a little crimper. So for the earth wire, you don't actually have to solder it on. You just put it through there, crush it with a pair of pliers, and it's locked in. So you haven't got to do any soldering, which is really, really useful. You can solder it as well, but I haven't bothered. When you install the springs, they go into there, and then you actually install a little retainer plate on top, which is really cool. It locks them in place, and yeah, just keeps everything really solid. You also get in the box a further 2 retainer plates that you can also install underneath there, if you want to add a little bit more weight to the back of the trem, or if you want to, you know, if the springs are too close to the bottom of the cavity, you can actually bring them up a little bit. So you can install that to bring the height of the springs up. So I didn't need to on this one because it was already good how it was. So I was happy with that. But yeah, so really cool design on that. As far as installing it goes, so Tremoline say that you can actually use the in pivots on the studs, which were already in the guitar. So I didn't bother using the Tremoline ones because I just didn't want to have to yank these ones out. So I've still got the Tremoline ones, again stainless, so really high quality. However, I have used the Tremoline actual studs which screw into there, the little posts here. Obviously, it does say in the instructions again that you can use the original ones that come with the guitar, but because the Tremolo has a stainless steel knife edge, if they're not stainless, it's going to cut into there and it's going to over time wear. So I think it's a good idea to make sure you're definitely using the Tremoline ones. I did first of all practice installing this on a Jackson that I've got, and it actually had a different thread, so I couldn't use these anyway. But I think Tremoline do provide different thread inserts if your guitar needs a different thread. So you can contact Theodore and he can help you with that. So yeah, what else have we got on here? So the thumb fine tuners here, they're great little things, really cool because they've got like these little dots on them so you can see where they are. So again, attention to detail there is really cool. They look really cool. And yeah, just grab those for your fine tuning up there. I think the old model didn't have them. It had like a little thing that you had to put a little key thing in to turn. That sounds a bit fiddly to me, so I think that's definitely a good upgrade putting these on here. What's also quite cool is the little oval string inserts here, which is quite cool, which you lock the strings into place with. So they're round instead of like, you know, your normal blocks. And the idea there is that it's less of a sharp edge to cut against the string and, you know, potentially break it. So that's quite a clever idea, that. One thing that I absolutely love as well, if I can find what I've done with it, where is it? There it is. It comes with this cool little tool right here. Now this is an intonation, or to help you with your intonation. It's genius. I've seen it before on an Ibanez guitar. I don't know why all lock and trems don't have these. It is such a good idea. So basically, when you're normally doing intonation on one of these guitars, if you undo the intonation screw, the saddle slides straight across, and it's a right pain. This screws through the thread in the back of the trem, and what it does, it then locks against the fine tuner right there. So what I can now do, if I unlock the intonation screw, that now stays exactly where it is. And depending if I need to move it forwards or backwards, if it's sharp or flat, I turn it or loosen it, and it'll either push it forwards or pull it back. It's such a good little thing. And then obviously when it's in place, tune it up, screw it back down again, and then you're in business. So it's a genius idea. I don't know why all lock and trems don't have these. It's such a good idea. So yeah, really, really clever idea, that one. So that's pretty much everything over here. Oh, apart from the trem, which again, stainless steel. Quite a nice bit of kit this. It literally just pushes in, so you pop it in, and then you tighten it up like that. It's got a little thread at the bottom here as well, so you can either tighten it or loosen it depending on how how tight you actually want it in there. But yeah, it just feels good to me. I've got 3 springs on here, and it feels great. And yeah, it just really doesn't go out too much at all. The other cool thing as well is that you've got the locking nut up here. Quite a unique design on the nut. This is an R2 nut on this one, and they're kind of like V-shaped, the little inserts in there. So again, it just sort of it's better for the friction and for locking the string in place. So good for tuning stability and also breaking strings. So yeah, it's very very cool design on that one. Like I said, on the original nut on this, the Floyd one, was very worn. This is stainless, it's not going to wear, so it's going to be really good. What I also do as well to help with tuning stability, I use some 3-in-1 oil on the little pivot point there, also where the string comes over, and just a dab in the nut as well there, just to lubricate everything. I remember reading that Eddie Van Halen used to do that. If it's good for Eddie, it's good enough for me. Definitely good enough for me. So yeah, so as far as tuning stability goes, like I said, it is absolutely phenomenal. You can dive bomb it, you can abuse it, and it literally is perfectly in tune. Yeah, I've never known a trem to be that stable. Like I said, there will be little nuances every now and again, but it is very good. Yeah, I'm absolutely blown away with it. The negative sides of it are literally me just trying to pick holes and nitpick. Personally, for me, I find that the thumb wheels, the little fine tuners, are a little bit fiddly to get in there and to adjust. Probably because I'm just used to a bigger one on a normal Floyd. But also because this is a lot more stable than a Floyd, you're going to be touching these less and less anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I would also say as well, although as great an idea as these are, these little oval inserts right here, if you do happen to lose one of these, it's going to be a nightmare to replace it. You're going to have to go direct to Tremoline because, they're not industry standard to get them. So you're going to have to be careful if you're restringing not to lose any of these little inserts in here, otherwise you'll be screwed. Because, you're not going to be able to put a normal block in there from a Floyd Rose. These are very unique to this particular tremolo. The one other thing that I would also say as well, again, just completely nitpicking here, this is a 3mm Allen key to undo this, whereas the intonation and the string lock over here is a 2.5mm. For me, I would have liked a 3mm at the back right here, because when I unlock the nut is usually when I'm restringing. So if I'm unlocking that and undoing the string, it would be handy if I was using the same Allen key for both. But, at the end of the day, it's just 2 Allen keys, one for that and one for that. It really doesn't make much difference. But that's just me picking holes in it. But yeah, this has now made my guitar great. I'm really happy with it. I've done a few mods on it. I've changed this pickup right here. It used to have a Bill Lawrence in it. I found it a little bit shrill for my liking, so I changed it to a Sir. And I've also got a coil split on it, so a push-pull pot on there as well. So now I've got this trem on here with rock stable tuning, rock solid tuning. I'm blown away with it, really over the moon. So I've got a couple of gigs next week. I'm looking forward to seeing how well it works at those. I've already used it at a couple of gigs, which was brilliant. And actually, I should probably say that as well. Using it at a couple of gigs. So tuned it up, played the gig, literally just shoved it back in the case, got it out of the case the next day, and it was pretty much still perfectly in tune. A couple of little bits and pieces here and there, but it was still pretty much in tune. So I was very impressed with that, and I did another whole gig with it without really needing to touch it much at all. Something else I should also probably say as well, because I'm so used to Floyd Roses, when adjusting the screws here at the back to balance the trem, so I've got it perfectly flat with the body of the guitar, with a slight upwards angle on the saddles here because of how the fine tuners are set. Yeah, when I'm actually setting the springs here, whether it's because they're stainless or, you know, they're tighter than what I'm used to, I don't know, they're very, very sensitive. So a tiny little, where usually I'm cranking, you know, the screws, you know, half a turn, one turn at a time, this is like tiny little increment turns, and it makes a big difference to how well the tremolo is balanced. I guess it's because it's such a precise system and how well it's made. Little tiny increments make a big difference on it. So yeah, that's taken a little bit of getting used to for me, the little adjustments on there rather than, you know, bigger adjustments, but that's absolutely fine. And yeah, I'm just absolutely blown away with it. So I highly recommend trying them out. Like I said, they're on the Reverb shop. They're around £200, or you can get the older system. I think they're about 150, something like that. Bulgarian made, solid stainless steel. And yeah, I'm gonna use it again this weekend, and I'm gonna, next week for a couple of gigs, and I'm gonna really put it through its paces and find out how well it goes at them. But yeah, I will do some demo videos of me using it at some point as well when I get a bit more time. But for now, very impressed. And yeah, I hope this gives some people some insight into it if they're thinking of upgrading. There you go.